Authority isn't always loud. It's not always tied to a title or a position. Sometimes the most powerful presence in the room is the one saying the least, watching, thinking, and quietly owning the space. That's exactly how Sigma males operate. They don't force people to listen. They don't demand respect. They simply walk in with a calm, grounded energy that makes people take notice. There's no ego. No need for validation, just presence. This is what makes them different. While others chase leadership by talking more, pushing harder, or trying to be impressive, Sigma males lead by being unshakable. They don't perform. They don't pretend. They don't need the spotlight. Yet somehow they end up in charge. Not because they asked for it, but because people trust them. That's what this video is about. How Sigma males command authority effortlessly. No yelling, no manipulation, just presence, principles, and action. In today's world, we often confuse noise with leadership. We think the most charismatic person must be the leader. But the Sigma male proves that real authority comes from something deeper. It comes from alignment, from living in a way that earns respect, not demands it. Throughout this video, we're going to break down the 6 ways Sigma males naturally take control of any space they're in, whether that's work, relationships, or everyday life. And the best part? They do it without raising their voice. Let's start by getting into what really makes Sigma authority work. The quiet qualities that create real power. The essence of Sigma authority. Sigma males don't need to explain who they are. People figure it out fast. And it's not because of how much they talk, it's because of how they move. At the core of their authority is one thing: alignment. Their words, actions, and values all match. They don't say one thing and do another. They don't act differently in public than they do in private. That kind of consistency builds trust, and trust is what makes people follow. They also stay calm. No matter the situation, they don't panic. They don't overreact. This calmness sends a signal: I'm in control. And people naturally look toward whoever is most grounded when things get tough. Another key trait is self-reliance. Sigma males don't lean on others to feel okay. They're comfortable on their own. They make decisions without needing a crowd, and that makes people feel like they're dealing with someone solid. People feel it in the way a Sigma male listens, moves, and speaks. There's no rush, no need to prove anything, just quiet certainty. This also comes from their strategic mindset. Sigma males don't waste time. They don't talk in circles. They listen more than they speak. And when they do speak, it's with purpose. People know that when a Sigma male says something, it's been thought through. All of this adds up to one powerful result: natural authority. Not the kind you ask for, the kind people give you. Because you've earned it, not through domination, but through integrity and discipline. Way number 1, leading by example with integrity. Sigma males don't just talk about what matters, they live it. And that's the fastest way to gain real authority, by leading through action, not words. When a Sigma male says he'll do something, he does it. If he gives his word, it means something. He doesn't break promises. He doesn't show up halfway, and over time people notice. This consistency builds quiet leadership, because while others are still making excuses or shifting blame, the Sigma male is already making progress. And it's not about perfection. It's about alignment. If he says discipline matters, you'll see it in his habits. If he says honesty matters, you'll see it in his conversations. He walks the talk. People watch that more than they listen to speeches. They pay attention to actions. And when those actions stay strong over time, it builds trust. That trust turns into authority. At work, Sigma males don't chase titles. They don't care about politics. But they always deliver, on time, with quality, without drama. And that kind of reliability makes teams follow their lead, even when they're not officially in charge. In personal life, it's the same. Sigma males don't try to control anyone, but they lead by doing what's right, even when it's hard. They're honest, loyal, and sharp, and because of that, people ask for their opinion, their help, their guidance. All of that comes from integrity. And integrity isn't just about being good, it's about being clear, knowing what matters, standing on it, and never faking it. Even when no one is watching, that's the kind of leadership that lasts. Because it's not about charisma, it's about character. People follow Sigma males not because they have to, but because they want to. Because there's something steady about them, something real. They lead by example, quietly, daily. And that's how they gain authority without ever asking for it. Way number 2, demonstrating unwavering self-confidence. Confidence doesn't need to be loud. In fact, the most powerful kind of confidence is the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. That's exactly what Sigma males carry, a quiet self-belief that commands respect the moment they enter a space. People often mistake confidence for showmanship. They think it's about talking big, standing tall, and taking control of every conversation. But Sigma males don't play that game. They don't need to announce themselves. Their energy speaks for them. They know who they are. They know what they stand for. And they don't waver, even when others question them. This kind of self-assurance is rare, and it shows in small ways. They don't rush to fill silence. They don't need to correct others just to feel smart. They don't get defensive when challenged, because deep down they trust themselves. And that trust makes them steady. It's this steadiness that gives them authority. In a room full of noise, their calm confidence draws people in. It creates contrast. It creates gravity. While others are trying to be seen, Sigma males don't try at all, and end up being the one everyone pays attention to. This self-confidence isn't fake. It's earned. It comes from time spent alone, building, learning, failing, and getting back up. It comes from living in alignment with their own values, not trying to meet someone else's standards. That's why Sigma males don't care about social pressure. They'll say no without explaining. They'll walk away without guilt. They don't adjust their opinion just to make people comfortable. That level of certainty makes people take notice. Even if they disagree, they respect the fact that the Sigma male stands firm. In leadership, this confidence is key. People want to follow someone who isn't second-guessing every move. Sigma males move with purpose. They decide with clarity. And they don't fall apart when things get hard. They don't need praise to stay motivated. They don't need group approval to feel strong. Their confidence is internal, and that kind of confidence makes others feel safe. Whether it's business, relationships, or social life, this unshakable energy puts Sigma males in a position of influence, without raising their voice, without showing off, just by being solid. Way number 3, exhibiting emotional intelligence and empathy. Sigma males don't just lead with logic, they lead with awareness. And one of the most underrated tools in their arsenal is emotional intelligence, their ability to read people, understand feelings, and stay composed no matter what. This doesn't mean they're emotional. It means they're in control of emotion, theirs and others. They don't let anger take over. They don't react without thinking. They take in the situation, stay grounded, and respond with clarity. People feel that, and it changes how they behave. Emotional intelligence starts with observation. Sigma males pay close attention. They watch how people talk, how they react, where their energy shifts, and without saying much, they pick up on what others miss. That's powerful in leadership, because when people feel seen, truly seen, they trust. They open up, they follow. Sigma males don't force anyone to open up, but when they listen fully. No distractions, no fake nods, just presence. And that kind of attention builds instant respect. In conflict, this emotional awareness is a game changer. While others raise their voices, the Sigma male stays calm. While others jump to conclusions, he watches. He lets the emotional wave pass, then speaks with precision. This kind of control earns authority fast. People look to the person who isn't panicking, who isn't blaming, who's still thinking clearly when everyone else is emotional. Sigma males also use empathy, but not in a soft way. In a smart way. They put themselves in others' shoes to see the full picture. Not to be manipulated, but to understand what drives behavior. And when you understand what drives people, you can lead them without pushing. You can influence without force. That's the key. Sigma males don't control people. They guide them with clarity, with calm, and with emotional intelligence that helps everyone feel more understood. That's what makes people trust them. And in any environment, trust is authority. Way number 4. Maintaining independence and authenticity. In a world where most people are trying to fit in, Sigma males do the opposite. They don't blend, they don't follow, and they don't compromise who they are just to be accepted. That's exactly why people listen to them. Authenticity is rare. It's uncomfortable. It makes people nervous because it's honest. But that honesty builds respect faster than anything else. Sigma males don't fake confidence. They don't fake kindness. They don't fake connection. Everything they do comes from a real place, and people can feel it. This makes their authority clean. It's not based on manipulation. It's based on alignment. They're not trying to please anyone. They're just being themselves, fully and without apology. That freedom makes others want to follow. Because most people are stuck trying to be what others expect. When they see someone who's broken free from that, someone who lives and speaks from truth, it creates curiosity. And then it creates respect. Independence is a part of that too. Sigma males don't need a crowd to feel strong. They don't need constant support. They don't chase popularity. That detachment gives them more control, and control looks like leadership. When someone moves through life on their own terms, they automatically stand out. They're not pulled by the same things everyone else is chasing. They're stable, unbothered, focused. That draws attention. In conversations, this shows up clearly. Sigma males don't say things just to fit in. They say what they actually believe, even if it goes against the group, even if it creates discomfort. But they say it with calm, not arrogance. And that combination makes people pause and think. They may not always agree, but they listen. And that's the start of authority. When people start adjusting how they think, just because one person spoke the truth. Sigma males don't demand respect. They earn it. By being so fully themselves, others can't ignore it. Way number 5. Mastering the art of silent communication. Sigma males don't talk to fill space. They don't use noise to prove presence. They use silence, and that silence speaks louder than most words. Body language, eye contact, stillness. These are the tools Sigma males use to quietly take control of any room they enter. They're not trying to dominate. They just show up calm, centered, and confident, and that shifts the energy. People notice how still they are, how they don't fidget, how they hold eye contact without flinching. These small cues tell people, I'm not nervous, I'm not here to please, I know who I am. That kind of energy demands attention without asking for it. When they do speak, they don't rush. Every word feels intentional, and because they don't talk much, people listen more closely when they do. That creates weight. That creates authority. Even in silence, their face doesn't overreact. No big expressions, no forced smiles, just presence. This makes them unreadable, and in many cases, a little intimidating. Not because they're trying to be, but because people aren't used to someone being that composed. This mystery adds power. People start wondering, what's he thinking? Why is he so calm? That curiosity turns into respect. Because when someone can hold still under pressure, it makes others feel like they can trust them. In leadership roles, this quiet control is key. Sigma males don't need to yell to be heard. They speak when needed. They let others speak first. And when it's time to take charge, they do it without raising their voice. Even in conflict, silence works in their favor. They listen first. Watch how others react. And because they're not emotionally scattered, they keep the upper hand, all while saying less. Silent communication isn't passive. It's powerful. It lets people fill in the blanks. And usually they fill them in with respect. Sigma males know this, and they use it without needing to force anything. It's not a tactic. It's who they are. Way number 6. Adapting strategically to different situations. Sigma males don't rely on one approach for every situation. They read the room. They adjust. But here's the difference. They adapt without losing who they are. That's what makes them so influential across different environments. They know how to move in silence when needed, lead a group when required, or speak up when it matters, all while staying grounded. They're not fixed in one identity. They're fluid, but never fake. At work, they observe before speaking. They take time to understand the politics, the power players, the tone. Then, when they step in, they do so with full awareness, not guessing, but acting with precision. In relationships, they can shift energy based on their partner's needs without becoming someone else. They listen more during tension. They offer presence during chaos. They don't try to fix everything. They just show up in the most grounded way possible. With strangers, they don't force charm. They assess. They decide how much to share, how much to engage, and how to hold space without oversharing or withdrawing too much. This skill to adapt while staying real gives them a massive edge. People never feel like the Sigma male is faking anything. He's just adjusting his delivery, not his values. This strategic movement shows intelligence. People see it and think, he gets it. They start trusting his ability to handle different scenarios, and that trust turns into respect. It also makes them unshakable, because no matter the environment, whether it's hostile, chaotic, emotional, or calm, Sigma males don't panic. They assess, then move. That stability becomes leadership. Adaptability doesn't mean being weak. It means being smart enough to shift while staying yourself. Sigma males do it better than most. Authority isn't always earned by being the loudest voice or the most aggressive person in the room. Real authority, the kind that lasts, comes from alignment. It comes from being fully grounded, fully present, and fully yourself. That's the Sigma male's power. He doesn't have to fight for control. He doesn't have to push for recognition. His calm, his discipline, and his focus do all the work. He leads by example. He doesn't ask for respect. He earns it through consistency. He speaks with clarity. He listens with intention. He holds space with calm. And all of that builds influence that others can't ignore. He doesn't fit the usual mold of leadership. He doesn't seek power. But somehow, it ends up in his hands, because people trust him more than the ones asking for it. That's the lesson here. You don't need to force authority. You just need to live with it inside you, through your actions, through your choices, through how you carry yourself. When others get loud, you stay steady. When others follow trends, you stay true. And when others need attention, you move in silence and still shift the entire room. That's how Sigma males command authority. Easily, naturally, without effort, because their whole life is built around what deserves authority. And the world sees it, feels it, and follows it.